Welcome to lesson 2. If you're here, I assume you've completed your homework with the 2 things I asked, and you're ready to do that every day, morning and night. As always, let's start with a story. Imagine a baby elephant tied to a wooden stake. As a baby, it tries to break free, but it can't pull the stake out of the ground. It pulls, it fights, but eventually it stops and accepts it. Years later, this elephant has grown to a massive 6-ton beast, capable of ripping trees out of the ground completely. And yet, it doesn't try to get rid of the stake. Never makes an attempt, because in its mind, the rope is still stronger than it is, even though it's never tried to test it. This is exactly how limiting beliefs work. Your potential, your abilities, your politics, your ideals, everything that makes up who you are has been programmed by somebody or something else. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna scare you to hear, but you actually are 100% capable of doing everything you wanna do. You could have already had it by now, and I'm really sad to tell you that. You could have made the money, you could have grown your business, you could have had millions of followers by this age if you actually took action. But if you spent those years, which you have, thinking, I'm not good enough, I don't know how to do this, maybe it's not right for me, then those beliefs can and probably have kept you stuck, even when you don't have to be. Limiting beliefs are not real. They can't actually hurt you. You can hurt you. You've been conditioned to think certain things about yourself. They're not real. Please understand this. They're just repeated thoughts that have become your default mental programming. If you ever told yourself, I'm not good at sales, and you aren't, well, who did that to you? As if you were damning curses in a church to God, you are saying these things and cursing yourself to live a mediocre life when you don't have to. Understand this. These are not facts. They are statements of opinion. There's actually no justification of what's about to happen in your future that has to come from your past. They're just beliefs, and beliefs can be changed. But before we discuss how, let me get a little deeper. You were programmed by society. Since childhood, school, your parents, forces have told you to play it safe, avoid taking big risks, follow the system and order. Many people believe it's the best for our society, and it keeps a lot of us out of jails and committing crimes, and it's generally a good thing. Not so good if there's certain things that can make you a 1% individual. Some risks are for the special people. Secondly, your past failures continued that conditioning. If you tried and failed, you assumed failure was who you are and not a temporary result for you. I actually love watching my buddies play Call of Duty because they don't take those losses and carry them on for weeks. The next game starts and the loss means nothing. It's fun to see them lose a 2K match and then start the next one like it never happened. And third, your identity pretty much locked you into this. You define yourself only based on your past instead of everything that's about to happen in your life when this is all the fun part. You should be focused on this. Here's the truth, and this is going to scare you, but it's okay. Your own brain is lying to you. And I want to be talking to your brain, not all of you right now. Your brain, hear this. Just because something happened to you here doesn't mean it affects you here. If it's in your past, it doesn't also mean it's in your future. Honestly, I would just stare at a wall like a crazy person and keep saying that until your brain actually starts to process it, because it will take a lot of repetition. Your identity, what you believe about yourself, is just a collection of reinforced thoughts. It's like when someone asks you to tell them what's red, all of a sudden you can see everything around you that's red. If you tell yourself you're bad at making money, you will find proof of that. A 0.5% loss on the stock market, a slightly failed business with no income for the day. But if you tell yourself you're good at making money, you see the 0.5% gain on the stock market you made another day, or the $1,000 you made starting your course this entire 6-month frame, even though you had no knowledge. Your losses become wins because your perspective changes. More importantly, if you tell yourself you're an entrepreneur, you'll find proof of how you've achieved adversity in your life to back that up, and you will look at the negatives as your storybook. You now have a reason to be a successful entrepreneur because something that was hard made you into this. It doesn't have to be your downfall. There's a concept called neuroplasticity. Your brain can essentially keep molding and wiring itself. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen the neural pathways to get and navigate to that thought. The more you repeat a belief, the stronger the bridge and the pathway to that belief. But the moment you rewire it or have a slightly different but more negative belief, your brain makes that connection stronger and it cuts off the one that actually should be helping you. Maybe your current beliefs sound like this. I don't know if I have what it takes. I've seen good and bad. I'm not really great at sales, but maybe I'd like to be better. You need to instantly replace them with what most people would say are lies, but will soon become your truth. I am a wealth building machine. Bridge strengthened. Success is inevitable for me. Bridge strengthened. I influence and persuade effortlessly. Charisma strengthened. Your words create the reality you live. Change your words and your mind will follow. To wrap up, let's talk about this 3-step belief destruction method of how we can get over these. For you school junkies, here's the actual method I teach. First, we gotta find out what this belief is. What's actually at the root of why you're not succeeding? What is the one belief you think you have? For example, I went through a breakup not that long ago. I thought that I still cared about this girl and that I couldn't get over it because I really just cared about this person so much. But in reality, I wanted to make sure that that person wasn't mad at me. So in reality, I was focused on this person not because I still cared about them, but because I wanted to make sure that I didn't upset them too much. And so it was actually a selfish belief that I had. But the change in belief let me let go of that person and I could move forward because I found the actual belief. So behind every problem, ask yourself what the actual belief is. First, what's the thought that's keeping you stuck? What's one thing you don't think you can do? This is the cage that you are living in, and get as deep as possible. Why is this an issue for you? I cared about my image so much that I couldn't forgive myself to let someone else go in my own life. And so I had to overcome my selfishness to care only about how I felt and forgive myself and this person to not let them essentially cloud my judgment anymore. But most people would see that at the surface and think, I need to get back with this person. In reality, the belief can actually be a layer or two deeper than you think. So find the actual core, as I just explained. The best question to do that is, why do I think that's the case? If you can ask yourself why enough times, you'll actually know why that is. And sometimes you need to talk it out. Either grab a friend, start voice recording on your phone, and just talk through the reasons behind your struggles. That's why counseling works and why people pay so much money for it. Now that you've found the belief, step 2 is proving it wrong. We need to find counter evidence. If you believe I'm bad at business, ask a different question. Have I ever made money? Have I ever solved a problem in my life? Well then, I'm not actually bad, I just don't know how to apply it in this case. I just need better strategy. If you believe, like I did for a while, I'm not good on camera, ask yourself something else. Have I ever spoken confidently before? I've given speeches, I've been, nominated for awards, so yes, I've spoken publicly. Then I clearly can get better, and I can feel the same way I did doing that and overcome this fear with enough practice. Sometimes it's gonna be a fucking stretch, but you can find beliefs and ideals and evidence that refutes that in some way. Make yourself debate in your head as if you were in a courtroom. These beliefs are now your enemies and you can find evidence to prove them wrong. Fight it out in your head and don't let that person or that side of you win. There's always evidence proving that your limiting belief is an actual lie. It helps when you write this down so you can look at the words and see how the words don't actually make as much sense as you think. I want you to write down 3 actual specific sentence examples of your limiting beliefs. This is going to prove that you actually have them because everyone does. I still have many of them, and it shows that you're actually capable of dissecting them in the way I just explained. Post them in the community. Show other people that you are proudly working through these to set an example, because somebody might need to see that more than you. Step 3 is reprogram the new belief. Essentially, install the upgrade. Just like software, you need to install the new belief until it becomes an automatic part of your programming. Use the formula here. The old belief is, I'm bad at making money. The new belief is, I am a wealth magnet. Every day I get better at generating income. The homework for this is exactly what you have been doing. Keep up with lesson 1. Repeat the same affirmation every morning and night, as cheesy as other people are going to call it. You are doing this as homework, as training, similar to lifting a barbell in the gym. You are strengthening your neural pathways. You can't see the gains, but they are happening inside your mind. And if you take a day off, you will believe it less and you will achieve less. I'm sorry, but it's going to be evidence to the fact. Let's talk about how to hack that subconscious, the part that's actually running this behind the scenes that we don't think about. Most people never break limiting beliefs because they keep them in their heads. But there's a shortcut to speeding up the process. This is going to be your second new homework task. Stand in front of a mirror and look yourself directly in the eyes. Say your new belief out loud with absolute certainty. And this is going to come after you've dissected the 3 beliefs you just wrote down. I'm not bad at business. I am a born entrepreneur. That's what you're going to say. I don't know how to figure these problems out. I am powerful, disciplined, and unstoppable. I don't understand understand how to make money in this new business. I make money easily and effortlessly. At first, it's gonna feel so awkward. It felt so awkward for me, and I hated my mentor for making me do it. But within a week, like your abs hurt after crunches, the neural pathway is going to feel different, and it's gonna feel stronger. Your brain will start accepting it as the new reality. It takes about 7 to 10 days. Let's summarize. The beliefs keeping you stuck were never yours to begin with. You learned them and you absorbed them from other people. Now, it's time to delete them. The only thing separating you from success is the identity you chose to believe. And today, as simple as it is, you're choosing a new one. I'm literally reaching through this video right now, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. Don't be passively listening. Look at the actual screen and hear these words. That's over. There's no more of the old you. You are this new person. Maybe you started from lesson 1 and did your homework, but now that old person doesn't exist. Your mind is the only limit you ever had. Now, watching this, break it. Because in the next lesson, we're gonna focus on how to think like the 1%. You really don't wanna miss it. Do your homework, the 2 things I asked, and we'll see you in the next video.